Now, I got to ask this dude a couple different things because there's something that popped up on social media, on the social medias, and it's something that we do talk about. We do talk about this, and I am certainly envious of what he gets to do because he is a mogul. He is our MIT. But there were cameras that were available at a recent outing where it's another subject that we talk about here. I've got to find out who actually allowed cameras in this particular place and find out about what in the wide world of sports happened and if the camera person made it out alive. Michael Parkhurst.
Good morning, John.
Michael Parkhurst and Brad Gazan and golf. I am frightened.
It was a good time. It was a good time. As you can see, I aptly named myself today.
Mm-hmm. See, BG, better golfer than BG. See, yeah. BG, BG. I see this.
That's right.
And this was my first question for you, and I'm glad that you fixed that with the lower third. Is that who was in fact the better golfer, and so it is you, and so this is good to know. This is good information.
For sure. The video made it seem like it was closer than it was.
I was going to ask that too.
And to be honest, John, so I did hit a house, but I will say it was probably one of the best drives I've ever had.
Really?
I swear.
How? I mean, so
it was a huge dog leg left.
Okay, so you're right. You're a righty, correct?
I'm a righty.
Okay,
so huge dog leg left.
All right, so
all I'm seeing is and it's elevated.
Okay.
So I don't know. I've got no equipment. I've got no idea how far it is to the turn where it turns left.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just assuming I can probably hit driver here.
Okay.
So I go first and I smash my driver.
Oh, fantastic.
Straight. And then I realize, oh, well, I probably should have hit a 4-iron or a 5-iron. Oh, God. So then Brad obviously goes and changes his club, and so he gets the right distance. But, yeah, I was actually smashed that right where I wanted to.
Well, and what we always like to remind folks is that when you have a domicile that is next to a golf course, there are two words that every golfer must know. Assumed risk.
Mm.
And that is the legal term for, dude, you built the house here. You get the consequences of your actions by having said house next to this fairway, not knowing that everybody's going to be, Tiger Woods and stripe it down the middle or know what the heck's going on. So if you have this fantastic drive, like you say that you do, is there video evidence of this, or did the camera person?
Surely there is. They were videoing everything. So.
Okay. So when this video comes out of you absolutely smashing this drive and hitting this house, that particular individual whose house you hit, it was their choice to have that house attached to that particular part of the course. Yes, you're going to do the neighborly thing. If you smash a window or something, you're not going to duck your head or maybe point at Brad and sit there and go, he did it.
Well, I definitely would have done that.
But. Yeah, see that, Gazan did it. But we do the neighborly thing. You hit a ball, it goes into a yard. It's like, sorry, my bad. It goes off a house, makes the dent. It was yours. Then you say, yeah, okay, send me the bill. I'll pay for it. But assumed risk is like, dude, you were the one that wanted that house right there. So that is your issue.
If I owned that house, I'd probably make sure that the golf course put some sort of signage to let people know.
Mm-hmm.
And now, granted, it's a private place, so a lot of the people that play there probably know, but even private places have events and bring guests and stuff. So anyways, it was a good time. We had a good few hours out there.
Yes. And as it's, what is it? A good walk spoiled. Was it that Feinstein said a good walk spoiled was a round of golf. Yesterday, and I led with it for most of the first half hour, the National Training Center, and as someone who has worn the Stars and Stripes, to have a home for U.S. soccer and not just a team, but all 27, a lot of the age groups, have all these bells and whistles. Now U.S. soccer has a place to gravitate toward, to build and have. You're not just you're not like a wandering minstrel anymore going through the countryside. You've got a home.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like for you to see something like that finally get the ribbon cut?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And I know that we're unique in the size of our country, but I do think that this matters in terms of just expectations of when you go into a camp. Because, we had so many camps in so many different places, and they'd be bringing in, their chefs, and they'd be Jurgen used I don't know how much money this guy spent when he was running the national team, but we'd bring in portable gyms into, the hotels so that, we wouldn't have to go then use a Lifetime Fitness or something like that. So it's just nice to have a place where they're going to know, hey, when you're getting called into camp in the US, that is, this is where you're going to be and this is what it's going to be like. And, it's far enough away from the city where it's not too many distractions.
Yeah. You're looking at 113 acres, 20 minutes south of an airport, and it is somewhat, it is tree surrounded. So I mean, it's not like buildings and being in subdivisions or something like that where you duck in and it's like, oh, by the way, here's where you're training. I mean, this literally is a complex. This is a campus, and you get to do your own thing, and you get to do it behind a gate with security, so no one's like gate crashed or anything like that, unless they figure out ways to come in through the woods to kind of see what's going on. So, I mean, literally, this is a place where you get to go to work now. It's not just all over the place. Did you actually have to go and work out at a Lifetime Fitness when you were a national team?
No.
Just checking. I mean, it's like I got to get in a workout, and it's like, okay, well, there's no place to get a workout. Oh, there's a Planet Fitness. There's a Lifetime down here at the strip mall around the corner from the hotel. I didn't know if you have to get stuck with something like that.
But I can't imagine the money U.S. Soccer has spent over the years bringing like portable gyms into like hotel ballrooms, so that we could work out in there, and the equipment that they would bring in. But it was needed because the hotel gym obviously is not suitable for what we're trying to do.
Oh, come on.
So little things.
Well, yeah, and now you have this great opportunity. When you mention this, and I want to bring this to your mentees here for a second. So when they're having to stay in shape and have off seasons and things like that, how creative have they been in their feedback to you? It's like, yeah, I had to do this, this, and this, and then try to figure things out. And how vigilant have you and Greg had to be about making sure that they stay on task and find ways to work out and stretch and get all those things done, and might have to be a little creative about it. But how vigilant have you guys been in mentoring, and how vigilant are your mentees when it comes to staying in shape?
Yeah, I think that obviously the higher the level, the more vigilant. We're actually working on a summer program right now to give kids kind of an idea or kind of a framework to work with, as far as, how often should you be running or lifting, and what are a couple different ideas. Because I think everybody
Jack LaLanne all of a sudden, and everybody
don't know who that is, but to be honest, this is mostly Greg.
Okay. Well, Jack LaLanne, and this is for folks of my age group, 920 and older. When in the early days of television, he was a guy who had those the morning workout shows that were syndicated that would be on at like 6:30 in the morning or something like that. In the 80s, you had all the
Buns of Steel.
Right. Yeah. So basically, it was kind of like Tammy Lee Webb, but it was a guy, and he wore like a jumpsuit, and he did it in the days of black and white television, and he did it forever. And he would be like in his 90s in color TV, and he would still be wearing the same jumpsuit, doing the same workouts and the same kinds of things. He'd be doing his half hour on television, and people would be watching, and they watched him for like 60 years doing this on TV. So I just have this vision now of Greg in a blue jumpsuit when he's 108 years old doing the same kind of exercises. Sorry. Flashback to black and white television. But so Greg, so a workout routine. So with Greg, huh?
Yeah, more of like a
how-to or
kind of ideas.
Yeah.
So he filmed a bunch of stuff of, hey, if you're looking to get ball touches, 3 days a week, here are a couple ideas. So just something for kids to work off of in case they're lacking a little creativity, don't know exactly what to do. But I do want to try and actually reach out to some mentees who are either going to college or in college and say, hey, send me your fitness program that the college has sent you, so I can share it so that people know, hey, this is what a fitness routine looks like if you want to play in D1, D2, D3, whatever it is.
So did you have a fit? I'll put it in air quotes, and it might be $1. Did you have a fitness routine that you stuck to, or that you kind of figured out for yourself over time? It's like, yeah, I'm going to go out back and I'm going to do, 30 wind sprints or this at height, at IMG or whatever. Did you have a fitness routine that you settled on, or what?
No, just because I don't remember taking much time off. It just seemed like I was at IMG until summer, and then summer I went back home and we were playing state cup stuff still, or I'd play, I don't even know what at the time it was called, the summer league down at IMG, for junior and senior year. So there maybe was one summer where I took some time off, sophomore year, but I think back then I was kind of just hanging out and doing a little running here and there, but nothing serious. More like I'll get back in shape when I get back down there to IMG.
Yeah.
It's different time, different era.
Well, and I was going to ask, I mean, because metabolism when we're in our teens compared to metabolism, now when I'm in my 90s is far different. And so you could kind of could you still eat whatever you wanted to and then work it off by, running and doing exercise, or did you have to be vigilant in what you were, eating and all of that stuff when you were in the impressionable years of high school and then in college?
For the most part, what I wanted to, but that said, I've always ate pretty healthy. I've always been pretty aware of what I'm putting in my body. Even as a pro, and I talk to kids about this all the time. I know that there's some pros out there like don't eat bread or don't eat hamburgers or don't eat French fries or whatever it is. But I was like, no, I'm going to eat whatever I want, just in small amounts and here and there. So, I ate healthy probably 80% of the time, but 20% of the time I didn't care. That way, if I wanted to eat unhealthy, I knew, okay, hey, this isn't going to affect me. I'm going to be able to just work this off and, be fine. So, try and have flexibility in that regard. So I think if you're treating your body well most of the time, it's nice to enjoy life.
Yeah, I mean, what's the phrasing? The great orator James Buffett said that some folks treat their bodies like a temple. I treat mine like a tent. That's straight up me. I treat my body like a tent instead of a temple. So when you are mentees these days, and are the younger athletes, are they more vigilant about it? They literally are like, well, Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't eat this, this, and this, and so I'm going to follow this path. I mean, are they that
Yeah,
attention to it?
not too much, honestly. There's a lot more information, obviously, out there. I mean, if you scroll TikTok, I'm sure you'll see something about protein.
Yes, the exercise gurus of the TikToks. Yes, absolutely true.
So there's obviously a lot more information out there, but I haven't had too many conversations with athletes about nutrition. I mean, I mention it, and actually, John, this is actually a good segue because well, not segue, but a thing to mention is that I'm having a conversation next week with former national team nutritionist, men's and women's, who also worked with the crew for a while and now works in hockey and does some other things. But I want to we're going to basically do dual interviews where I can help his clients and he can help ours as far as, what should kids be thinking about and different age groups, and, what should they have for breakfast if they're on the run or if they've got an 8 a.m. game, or I don't know, different little things, right? Where it's like, hey, a little tidbit. And anyone that's got youth athletes in sports knows the dinner dilemma on a weekday of, kid needs to be at practice at 5 o'clock and then they're not getting home till 7:38. So are you eating dinner at 4 or 4:30, or are you eating dinner at 8 or 8:30, or what the heck's going on there? So, I want to ask them a bunch of things like that. So nutrition is actually a topic I've been thinking about lately.
See, oh my gosh, I've actually helped the process along. I don't know what I'm doing here. That's just crazy.
This is why I jump on, John. You're just full of good ideas.
God, that's your secret. Yes, proper hydration. Sure. Yes, we believe in proper hydration for guests as well. And I promise not to do anything that will give you a spit take while you're consuming, because I mean, there's all of this stuff that goes on. It's like you're not supposed to eat after 9 o'clock. You're
Mhm.
not supposed to, the whole half hour before, half hour after. You've got to eat this stuff. You got to be aware of lactic acidosis. You've got to, make sure that you have all of these different things available to you. But is it more finding your own rhythm about, your body and what responds to it? Or is it that whole set idea of, okay, here are main guidelines to keep an eye on, and then maybe you can go sideways here and sideways here? Or is it really your own rule book when it comes to this stuff?
I think that to Abster's point there, yeah, everybody is different, right? You have to know your own body, but I think it is nice to know a few guidelines and a few things that can be helpful,
Yeah.
right? If you're looking for energy, if you're looking to add weight, if you're looking to lose a few pounds, because you enjoyed the off season, right? Those types of little things where it's like, okay, I know what I need to do, but also as far as pregame meals and breakfast and those types of things, it's more what works for you, right? If you've got time to make eggs, yeah, great. That's unbelievable. If you think you're going to throw up in the morning because you have breakfast, that's just what my kid recently told me. Then just grab a granola bar or grab a banana or grab something on the road or some peanuts, anything. But for pregame meal, it's the same thing. Like there are guys that like to eat like 5 hours beforehand and then eat nothing. And I'm like, oh my God, I would like to eat 3 hours before, but I could do 3.5 or 4. But then I'd have to eat again, like on my way to the stadium or at the field, right? I'd have a small snack. So it's just everyone's just so different. And so to try and bucket into like, hey, everybody needs to do this is crazy. Because when I went to the crew, I was already like 30 years old. And now all of a sudden we had this nutritionist, and he ended up working with Greg at the national team. And he was like, yeah, we're going to cut out carbs. And like we would be in preseason and at a hotel where they control the meals, and there were barely any carbs available. And it was like crazy. We're all starving. Try going carbless when you're not used to it, and while you're working out, and tell me how hungry you are all the time. But anyways, it was a big adjustment, and I realized like this is not for me. But I took in some of the information of like, hey, that's when I adapted my breakfast and my post kind of or pre
Your pre-game?
pre-sleep snack.
Okay.
I adjusted those two things to be more less carbs, and those two little adjustments helped me a little bit. So, I think it's important to get information, but then fine tune it to what works for you.
Okay, so then break this down for me. So your night before a game, say, what did you go to bed? Did you go to bed at sundown or something? Like it's 7:30 to get your 8 hours. Were you an 8-hour guy first and foremost?
Oh, 8+.
Okay, I love you for that. Sleep enough for the both of us. So if you're an 8+ hour guy, when were you eating before you went to bed, and what were you eating pre-match day?
Pre-match day, I would eat a normal amount of food. And of course, when you're a high level athlete, a normal amount is a lot of food, right? I read something recently that most young athletes aren't eating enough. They're not fueling their bodies enough because of how much they're working out. So I would eat a normal big meal at dinner time, and then most nights towards the end of my career anyways, I was having a protein shake, which now I'm like, I don't know if I could have a protein shake right before bed, but I'd have a protein shake probably about an hour before going to bed.
Okay.
And we ate dinner early. So if I was going to bed at 10 o'clock, we'd have dinner at probably 6-ish because I had younger kids at the time. So, then I'm having a protein shake at 8:30, 9 o'clock and going to sleep at 10.
Okay, so then normal kickoff, and then I'll adjust this to like an early kick, like say you're playing in Toronto or something like this season. So normal kick night side, what's your daytime routine meal wise to get into a match day?
big breakfast, always a big breakfast, like 8-ish, maybe earlier. Light lunch, like 11:30, 12. Big meal at 3:30 for a 7 o'clock game.
Okay.
So the big meal meaning like pasta and chicken, a little bit of salad or some broccoli or something like that.
Yeah, you lost me
So that
at
was
the green stuff. You
that was the big meal. And then maybe 30, 45 minutes before going out for warm-ups, I'd have like a piece of toast with jelly or a banana or a granola bar or something like that.
Okay, so then if kickoff is moved up for television and you're the early afternoon game, how does that juggle things and how does that screw up your
Yeah, I
cycle?
tweeted about it when Atlanta United was playing in Toronto. Like the 1 o'clock kickoffs, the noon kickoffs are brutal. It really is. It just messes up the routine. So I always struggled in those moments where it was like, okay, if say you have a 1 o'clock game, you work backwards. Like, okay, your pregame meal is usually 3 to 4 hours before. So now you're eating pregame meal at 9-ish, 9:30. So for me, the dilemma was always, do I wake up and have breakfast at 6 and then have a second meal at 9:30, or do I just wait until 9 or 8:30 and try and go in early and have a big meal then? And it just depended on sleep schedule and what I was feeling and stuff. But I couldn't have chicken and pasta at 8:30 and 9 o'clock in the morning. So then I'm just doing a big breakfast.
Okay. Why couldn't you have chicken and pasta at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, they had it available for some guys, but just couldn't do it. I'm such a big breakfast person, John. I don't even know I rarely sleep in like late, but if I did sleep until like 11 or 12, I don't think I'm waking up and having lunch. I think I'm waking up and having breakfast still.
Okay. All right. Just checking. I mean, because like I said, I know that some folks, the whole thing of an early kick or an even later kick, like if you're on the West Coast, are you still on an East Coast schedule with meals? If it's a 10:30, or does everything slide that extra 3 hours? If you're living in the East Coast, like if you were playing LAG or you're playing Seattle or Portland or something like that, and you were playing here in Atlanta or Columbus, and you had a late night kick out there, does that just push everything 3 hours later, or are you still sticking to your East Coast schedule?
You adjust a little bit,
Okay.
because it's just it's easier going west.
Okay.
Right? It's tougher for the teams that are coming east, but just because you go to bed early and wake up early, but it's just a long day. When you have that West Coast kickoff, it's just such a long day because I'm usually up at like 5:30 in the morning, and then it's just a long day. But I became a napper throughout my career on game day.
Okay.
Especially if those late games. It's just a nice way to spend 2 hours, hour and a half, where it's and just get some extra rest. I was so big on sleep, John, and I talked to my mentees about this, where I only missed games for one muscle injury in my career, and I'm pretty sure. I took very good care of my body, but I still think the main reason for that is because I got really good sleep throughout my career.
Far out. Yeah. Like I said, you're sleeping for the both of us, man. I'm an 8, but I rarely get 8. And so that adds to my natural surliness here, doing a morning show. It's just like, you got what'd you get? 4.5, 5? Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. Okay. Bring it. Yeah. My BS coefficient goes down the less sleep I get. So it's just, I could never nap. I can't nap, man. If the sun is out, I can't nap. I can fall asleep on an airplane like that, but I can't nap during the daytime. I literally can't.
Yeah. I know some people are like that, and not everybody did nap. But yeah, I always liked, especially a hotel nap.
Okay.
On a Saturday afternoon, you got Premier League going on. Like,
okay,
just have that watching, but I don't really care, so I'm going to fall asleep at some point.
Okay. Did you run the air conditioning in the hotel room, or did you sleep with normal conditions? Because sometimes reconstituted air and all of the dust and everything, and airplanes and that kind of thing. Did you sleep with the AC, or did you turn the AC off?
Oh no, I got to have it cold in the room.
Okay. Because some folks will sit there and say, well, because of all the dust that comes in from the AC, that gets you sick and it adds to your allergies and all that kind of stuff. I sleep with it off. So that way, so everything's room temperature and it's, it doesn't get all messed up. So, bet you didn't think we were going to be discussing food and sleep habits and all that kind of stuff that you did.
Hey, you never know. You never know with Mr. John Nelson. So that's one of the fun things about being on.
Yeah, like I said, literally, when we'll just take a conversation and we'll go someplace and I have no earthly idea where it goes. And I think literally this is the first time that we've been talking about sleep and nutrition because, that's my prepared notes for today, as always. Before we get out of here, the Atlanta Uniteds, they're doing pretty well. They're on a bit of a run. They found their rhythm. What's it been like for you to see them hit this rhythm in the last month or so?
Yeah, it's good. And, it always comes when you least expect it, which is great. But that's what confidence will do for you, right? You win a game and all of a sudden, if you can get a couple going, the mood in the locker room starts to change around the training facility. There's just a belief that occurs. And so, it's at every level. Look at Real Madrid right now. What a disaster. But that's how it is. When you lose a couple games, when things don't go your way, when the pressure gets to you a little bit, then teammates get after each other a little bit, and it's just tough. And the reverse can happen too, where you've got a group of guys that are pulling, and you fight through, and you get a couple wins, and you start rolling, and you just take it from there. So it's good to see Atlanta United winning games, scoring some goals, bringing some excitement back to the Bend. So hopefully continues on.
When's the next time that I get to see you in the press box?
Oh, I don't know. It's a good question.
When's the next time you're in town? I guess first and foremost.
I'm in town on May 20th for an event with Cox Communications.
Oh.
Yes, but that's just a fly in on the 19th, fly out on the 20th. Midweek jaunt. Okay. And then I'm coming in early June to do some stuff around town. Couple have a camp. We're having a camp as of now.
Okay.
And do a couple freebies in a couple different communities. So it'll be fun. But I don't think Atlanta United have a game. So
no, it's that World Cup thing. As always, my friend, it's great to see you. I'm glad that you are a better golfer than Brad Gazan. I will never let him hear the end of it now. And next time I see him, which will be tomorrow, actually, I'll be sure to bring this up when I see him in his suit and tie, as always. And Dell is hoping that you take care of Tampa.
As am I, Dell.
And it's always fun to talk USL Championship and all the things with you because we never know where it goes. As always, my friend, great to see you. Have a great weekend. And straight down the middle and bank it off the house, and you got an easy 2-putt for a bird.
Just how I drew it up.
Yeah, be good.
All right, see ya.
There goes Parky.